Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and anything about movies. Now, listen, if you were searching on the internet for gross pictures of Whitey Bulger and you accidentally came across my podcast and you're not really a movie fan, well, maybe I can convince you to be one. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and this is episode 96, guys. Holy shit. We are 4 away from hitting that big old 100. You know what's going to fucking happen when I hit that 100? Absolutely nothing. I keep doing this for you guys. Unless I die. If I die, and you don't see a podcast next week, then just assume that Whitey Bulger, came and hunted me down. Why all the Whitey Bulger talk? Well, on today's episode, guys, I'm going to be going over a shit ton of movie news that dropped, a shit ton of trailers that dropped, and of course, my review of Black Mass and just what I think of Johnny Depp in general and, all the stuff he's done. So, and then, of course, the box office results for the weekend. But before I get started, if you are listening to this on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or SoundCloud, you want a video version of this podcast and you want to see my arms flail up and down, like fucking Kermit the Frog or something, like, all right, Kermit the Frog here, and, and just I'm flailing all over the place. If you want to see that, link will be in the description below for you guys. And if you are listening to this and watching this on YouTube and you want to have an audio-only version of this podcast, link will be in the description below for that as well. So, with that being said, there's a lot of shit to get through, so let's do this, shall we? All right. First piece of news is that Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or excuse me, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is starting pre-production. I know it's not really much, but, James Gunn has gone to Atlanta where they're doing a lot of pre-production. They're going to do a lot of production as well. So he's gone. He's gone for a while, and they're going to get started on it. So I'm super excited that's happening. It's weird to think about, that movie doesn't come out for another it's like a year, almost 2 years, because it comes out May. Is it May or June of 2017? I think it's May. And so, it's a little less than 2 years, but it's hard to believe that, at this moment in time, they are doing pre-production on a movie that we're not going to even fucking see until 2017. So, for all you Guardians of the Galaxy fans, there you go. Including myself, I got super excited when I heard that. So, awesome. The next piece of news is that, speaking of Marvel, Rachel McAdams, who she's had a very, she's had a career. She's in a lot of misses nowadays, but she is a very solid actress. And even though I thought True Detective Season 2 was a bit of a mess, she was actually really good. And I really liked her character in that season. Hell, I'm one of the only people that will defend The Notebook as a person, as a human being with a penis. So, I like The Notebook. And I think she's very good in The Notebook. She's a very solid actress. She's going to be joining Doctor Strange. This is turning out to be one of the most impressive casts that Marvel has put together that isn't an Avengers film, and it's a standalone. We have Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, fucking awesome. We have Chiwetel Ejiofor, he's going to be in the movie. Mads Mikkelsen's going to be in the movie, and now Rachel McAdams. What the fuck? It's so good. That just makes me want to smile. But you guys know I don't smile. I'm cold at heart. That's so awesome, man. I don't even care what she plays. She can play a fucking gas station clerk, and I'll be like, you know what, Rachel McAdams, that was a good role for you. You should get an Oscar for that. But so Rachel McAdams joining the universe just makes me excited because Marvel has to do this thing now. When you are a big franchise and a big universe like this, you have to sign actors and actresses on for multiple movies. And I guess she really liked the part that she's playing. I guess she liked the script, and she probably just liked the world and stuff. So she's probably going to be in this universe for quite some time. So that's really great news. I kind of want to see Rachel McAdams, kick some ass or be evil or just do something. So just have fun with yourself. So, yeah, Rachel McAdams, Doctor Strange. That's awesome. I think they start production in November, so they start in a couple months. In London, I think think they're shooting over there. I forgot where they're shooting, but Scott Derrickson, he's the director of Doctor Strange, and he said he was gonna be gone for a while, so I think it is overseas. So anyways, that is fantastic news. You guys remember the movie Mary Poppins? Good old Mary P, the Poppinator. I don't know how to feel about this. Apparently, they want to, I think, remake it. The story was kind of unclear. They either want to remake Mary Poppins, or they want to do a direct sequel or prequel. I forgot what it was, but I think it might have been a sequel. Anyways, they want to either add on to this lore or reboot this lore, and Rob Marshall is in talks to direct this. Now, who's Rob Marshall? He's the guy that directed the Best Picture winner, Chicago. He also did Into the Woods. He did Pirates 4. Cool, I guess. So he's not a shy person when it comes to musicals. I mean, he's done a few of them and stuff. So I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, Mary Poppins is an iconic movie. I mean, this is a classic Disney movie that everyone that I've talked to loves the movie. I love the movie as well. And Julie Andrews is Mary Poppins. You can't find anyone else. Like, this is like one of these roles where it's like Julie Andrews is Mary Poppins, and it's going to be really fucking tough to cast someone else in that role, because we're going to be thinking about that. We're going to be comparing and stuff as movie fans, and it's just going to be strange. So, to be honest, I don't know how I feel about this news. On one hand, it could be really cool adding on to this, lore. At the same time, I'm just like, why? Just kind of leave it alone. Hey, listen, even if you're not a fan of musicals, I mean, Chicago won Best Picture. Whether you agree with it or not, it was in the Best Picture nominee for a reason. People like musicals, and from what I've heard, it's a well-done musical and stuff. So, I mean, if they're going to get someone to do it, at least Rob Marshall is the correct guy, if that makes any sense. So, I don't have any problem with him. I just have, I'm on the fence with this one. So I guess for right now in this moment, I'll go ahead and say I'm excited for it, because it's been a long time since we've seen good old Mary P. And so I think it'd be nice to kind of see if they're going to tack onto it and add more, or if they're going to restart or whatever. So I'm curious. I'm curious more than anything. Doesn't make me angry. The next piece of news is that Elizabeth Banks, this is the hot blonde. My first exposure to her was where I actually noticed her was Zack and Mary Make a Porno. Not even joking. And I love that movie to death. Zack and Mary Make a Porno is actually a really good little romance movie from Kevin Smith. Anyways, Elizabeth Banks directed Pitch Perfect 2 this past summer, and now she's in talks to direct a Charlie's Angels reboot. Okay. Let me look over my collection right now. Wait, did I sell them? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I either sold them or they're somewhere else and I can't find them. But at some point, I did have the first two Charlie's Angels, the one with Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, directed by McG, which sounds like that shitty nickname that someone gave to you on the playground at 2 p.m. when you're in second grade, and they're just like, yo, McG, and he's like, hey, man, I think I'm going to keep that. It's like, no, you dumb little 8-year-old, change your fucking nickname. Don't make that your name. Anyways, I've never really particularly cared for anything McG has ever touched. This is the guy that also directed Terminator Salvation, and I will give him props on We Are Marshall. I thought that was a pretty good little football movie. And then he did This Means War. So, those Charlie's Angels movies they're whatever. Dumb entertainment. But Elizabeth Banks coming to direct one is interesting. Because Columbia has the rights to Charlie's Angels and stuff. And I'm just wondering if they're going to do this, if it's going to be the same tone, if they're going to go a little bit more realistic or a little bit overboard and cartoony. I don't know what tone they're going to go with this, but in terms of an actual reboot, sell it, I guess. I don't care. I think it's just because I was burned so much by the first two. I'm just not particularly too fond of a remake. But I will say this. If they get Bill Murray to come back as Bosley, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that. But in terms of everything else, if you're gonna make it, if you have to, bestow this, human waste upon us, at least try and make it good and make it entertaining, I guess. So I don't know. I'm kind of like whatever with this one. I guess for all you people that liked the two with Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore and stuff, then maybe you'll like this. I don't know. I'm kind of whatever with it. Next piece of news is that Woody Harrelson, good old Mr. Woody, he's going to be the villain in the third Planet of the Apes movie. Now, I don't know what the actual title is because they've been floating around two titles throughout this entire week. It's either going to be War of the Planet of the Apes or War for the Planet of the Apes. I don't pick one, I guess, like 20th Century Fox. Just flip a fucking coin, flip it on like a sticky pad or something. Whatever it lands on, it lands on. Don't move it. That's it. But Woody Harrelson playing the villain, I like this. I like it a lot. Woody Harrelson's the type of actor to where you throw him in anything, he's going to be good. Like, look at his career. Natural Born Killers. And then playing like friends of a friend in a comedy like No Strings Attached. And then he plays a detective in True Detective. He plays a whacked out idiot in 2012. This is the type of guy to where it doesn't matter what he does, he always delivers. And I didn't see the movie Out of the Furnace, but apparently he plays a good villain in there too. I'm assuming he's going to be playing like a general of the army, of the human army, because we're going to be the bad guys in the third one. So, yeah, I'm super pumped, man. I can't wait to see what he does. I hope he goes like super ballistic. Because Woody Harrelson going ballistic is it's a treat. It's a visual treat just for your eyes to just kind of just absorb a little bit. So yeah, I kind of want to see Woody freak out. So yeah, that's that piece of news. The next piece of news is that Darren Aronofsky, the great Darren Aronofsky, who has directed movies such as Pi, Requiem for a Dream, Noah, The Fountain. Is that it? He hasn't done much. Oh, he did The Wrestler. I'm a huge fan of Aronofsky. I really like what he did with Noah. I think Noah is actually very underrated. It's a very visually striking movie that does raise a lot of questions about religious beliefs and stuff, and I totally dug it. My favorite one by far is Requiem for a Dream because that movie just emotionally wrecks the fuck out of you, and I love those type of movies. It's a very good movie about addiction, but it's very heartbreaking to watch, and it's one of those movies that like some people don't want to watch again. And, for me, since I like the movie a lot in this weird, sadistic way, I kind of pop it in every once in a while and just emotionally wreck myself. Wreck myself before I check myself. Is that how it goes? I don't know. I'm fucking old. I haven't been in a school, like a high school, since 2008 when I graduated. So is that what the kids are saying? Wreck yourself before you check yourself, whatever the fuck. Anyways, Darren Aronofsky, great director. He is in talks to direct an Evel Knievel movie. And get this. They're trying to get Channing Tatum to be Evel Knievel. How fucking awesome is that? I went to the Dallas International Film Festival this year, and there was a documentary about Evel Knievel, and it was Being Evil, and not being evil like fucking sinister, like evil as in his name. It was a really good documentary. I didn't really know much about Evel Knievel, but that documentary, we learned a lot about this guy, and we learned that he was kind of a douche, to put it bluntly, and he was also a good guy sometimes. And it's the type of documentary to where like you kind of are just in awe that someone would do all these daredevil stunts, but at the same time he's still human and he's just a broken human being and stuff. So Being Evil is actually a really good documentary. It's produced by Johnny Knoxville, so I got to give huge props to Johnny for that. So thank you for producing a really good documentary. But having Darren Aronofsky direct an Evel Knievel biopic with Channing Tatum, that just like screams out Oscar. It's almost like what when I reported that Cate Blanchett was going to play Lucille Ball and Aaron Sorkin was going to write it. It's almost like it's unfair. This seems like one of those other scenarios where it's like, it's unfair, man. This is going to be good. This is going to be a good-ass movie. And the thing is, with all you people that do not like Tatum, he's working his ass off, and he's actually changing himself for the better. Like, he's really good with comedy now with the Jump Street franchise. He's getting really good with drama, especially with Side Effects and the very disturbing slow burn that is Foxcatcher. Dear Lord, you want to see Tatum really go there? He fucking goes there. It's a really well-acted film. It may not be for everyone, but it is well-acted. So him playing Evel Knievel, how could you not be excited for that? Listen, if you have doubts of Tatum, he's worked with Bennett Miller on Foxcatcher, who basically directed Philip Seymour Hoffman to win an Oscar for Capote. And now Darren Aronofsky wants to work with Channing Tatum? That should give you fucking proof right there that this is a sought-after actor and directors want to work with him. So the fact that Aronofsky wants Tatum for this, I'm totally buying it. It's going to – oh, man, this is going to be a good one, man. It's going to be just – like when I heard the news about the whole Lucille Ball thing, I'm excited – just as excited for that as I am for this Evel Knievel movie. So please make that happen. Because Aronofsky, he hasn't really done anything in the public's eye since The Wrestler. Yeah, he did Noah and stuff, but there's a lot of people that hated Noah, and I just want him to kind of get back on top. Next piece of news is that Rupert Wyatt is dropping Gambit. Gambit is the Channing Tatum superhero movie, and Rupert Wyatt was the director of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Apparently, he's not going to direct anymore. I guess my speculation is that he just didn't agree with, the script, or, just stuff wasn't working out. It was creative differences or whatever. Yeah, I mean, he's leaving. It doesn't concern me because it's not like Rupert Wyatt is like one of the greats out there. He's not like, he's a fine director. He's fine for what he does, but losing him is not really like a downside. So I'm actually curious to see who they're gonna get. So yeah, there's that piece of news. I don't know what else to say. I'm just I'm kind of shocked that he left because he did a lot of pre-production and stuff. So I don't know. The next piece of news is that from that crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. I'm going to try to say it with the straightest face possible. Ice Cube is in talks to play Ebenezer Scrooge in a movie called Humbug. My word, this is going to be great. Ice Cube is one of those actors to where he's actually quite serviceable, and he's actually quite funny. And so I'm actually really curious to see, I guess, this more darkly comedic drama role. Like, I'm actually more fascinated than anything that he's going to be doing this. But I mean, for all the Christmas Carol movies and stuff, whoever you cast as Scrooge, you have to find a ghost that's going to work really well with them. So that Ice Cube is playing Ebenezer Scrooge, I'm actually really curious to see who they're going to get for the ghost, carrying him through all the, past, present, and future scenarios. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But as far as Ice Cube playing Scrooge, I mean, first of all, he already looks like he walks around pissed off all the time. Like, I don't even think that's the act in the movies. I think that's how he actually walks around. So he's got like that grumpy look, I guess. Like I said, I'm just more fascinated than anything. I'm morbidly curious. Like, how the fuck is this going to work? Because they can either go down two routes. It's going to go down more of the dramatic, like, heartfelt route from Because he has done family films. He did those stupid "Are We There Yet" movies. So is it gonna be more family friendly? Is it gonna be more raunchy comedy or really dark and sadistic? I don't know. They could go any way with this. So I don't know what the tone is. But once the tone is pinpointed out and we get the story and stuff, I'm sure I'll be reporting on this podcast, and I'm sure I'll be making my decision then. But until then, I kind of want to see it. So the last piece of news is the most conflicting. They're going to be making a Jeepers Creepers 3. Now, I actually like the first Jeepers Creepers. It's a fine little horror slasher movie. Didn't really care for the sequel. It's whatever. The director and the writer of the first two is coming back to do the third one. His name is Victor Silva. And he's doing the third one. So that's not where I'm kind of conflicted. Because I can care less if they do a third one. This guy, I did not know this until it was brought up. This guy was a convicted pedophile, a convicted child molester. And he actually got sent to prison for doing very disgusting lewd acts with young little boys. And he did his time in jail. He was convicted, all the 9 yards. He went through the justice system, and now he's walking the streets and stuff. Now he's back to making movies. I honestly don't know how I feel about that. Because you're supposed to separate a celebrity's life from their work. Because if you start doing that, then you would get fucking irritated at every single movie you saw, because you'd be like, well, that guy was caught by TMZ because he went to the grocery store and he grabbed some milk and he drank it and threw it on the ground because he was all fucking high and uppity on himself. I don't know. So if you start thinking about stuff like that, you have a miserable movie experience. I don't think I'm going to see Jeepers Creepers 3 for the sheer fact that pedophilia is one of the most disgusting things that you can do as a human being. Pedophilia, murder, and rape are like the three worst things you can do. And I think if you hit one of those three, for me, I'm not going to go see your movie. I really don't. Like, listen, there's a difference between like some celebrity or filmmaker doing some stupid shit where they kind of break the law for like shoplifting a Snickers bar from a gas station. Yeah, they did a stupid thing. They served their time. They paid the fine, whatever. Let bygones be bygones. People make mistakes. It's whatever. But if you murder, rape, or commit acts of pedophilia, it's disgusting. And I don't think you should really make any films anymore. But at the same time, it's like, well, at what point, as we as a society, do we forgive him? And I realized that he served his time, which was only like a year, I think. It's disgusting, man. And I just don't want to support you. I don't. And Jeepers Creepers 3 might be one of the most revolutionary horror films of this century. But I can't see myself going to the theater supporting a pedophile knowing that he did this shit and he was convicted of it. So I know I'm supposed to separate their lives from their work, but it's fucking pedophilia. It's disgusting. So Jeepers Creepers 3 is happening. So giving you that information now, I'm actually curious, like, on all these news stories, and particularly the Jeepers Creepers 3 one, are you going to go support this guy's movie now, knowing that you know this now? So I'm curious. So comment, place, roll up on my face, and let me know. So that is the news portion of this week, guys. So let's get into the trailers, because we got 7 of them to talk about. So I'll try to, I'm not going to run through them as fast as possible, but I want to, not spend too much time. I want to get to Black Mass. I just got back from it. The first one I want to talk about is the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 trailer. Basically, the trailer shows you clips from the first 3, and it kind of builds up into this epic, cinematic glory that is Hunger Games. I've been a huge fan of this franchise, and I'm so excited to see the last part and just see how this ends, because I didn't read the books. So all this that's happening in front of me is new to me. It's fresh. When these twists happen or when these reveals happen, I'm actually genuinely shocked, because I've never read the books and never associated myself with the source material. So everything just seems really fresh to me and really surprising. So I really do appreciate it. But the trailer just gets me so pumped for it. It's not really like, it's got like new clips, but it's more of a build up to this like epic finale. And I think it did that justice versus this movie that did the exact same thing with its trailer. The next trailer is the Divergent series, Allegiant. Like I told you guys last week, it's going to be broken up into 2 parts, and the first part's going to be called Allegiant, and the second part's going to be called Ascendant. Ascendant? Yeah, it was Ascendant. And so the trailer for this one came out and did the exact same thing as Hunger Games, where it showed you clips of the first 2, which makes no sense because you still have another one coming after Allegiance, so whatever. So you have the clips of the first 2, and then it shows clips of the new one. It was just kind of like, whatever, man. Like, I don't remember anything from the trailer. I honestly don't. And it's just, I saw the first Divergent, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I might continue it. But then the second one came out, and I didn't have, like, the courage to get out of my apartment, get my ass off my bed, go to the theater, and drop $10 on that. I just couldn't do it. So it looks like it was a lame trailer. It wasn't as cinematic and as epic feeling as the Hunger Games. So they were trying to do it. I realize that you want to try to capitalize on the hype of Hunger Games and bring that over to your franchise. Whatever, that's fine. But it wasn't. It was just, it didn't get me pumped to even check it out or even check out the second one so I could watch this one. It was whatever. So there you go, you Divergent fans. I'm sure there's a few of you out there. The next one is an independent film called Nasty Baby, and this stars Kristen Wiig. And I don't know much about this. It was kind of like it wasn't a teaser because we got like the characters and the story and stuff. But basically, Kristen Wiig has a couple friends, and they're a gay couple, and they want to have a child, and they want to use Kristen Wiig as a surrogate. And then it was really weird. Like, the first half of the trailer was like all playful and stuff, and then towards the second half, it got really creepy and intense. So I'm actually just really fascinated to see how this is going to go down, because it looks like the tone is going to be super dark and weird. So I always like those type of movies. But anyways, that's what the trailer is, and looks pretty good. So the next trailer I want to talk about is In the Heart of the Sea. This is the Ron Howard directed film starring Chris Hemsworth, and it's the story about Moby Dick, the good old Dick, good old M Dick. That's actually pretty gross. I don't even know what that means. The good old M Dick. Okay. Anyways, there was a trailer that dropped like in January or February, and it was like In the Heart of the Sea coming out in March, and then they pulled this movie from March and they slapped it in December because the filmmakers thought they would have a better chance at Oscars if they did this. And after watching this new trailer, damn right, this could win some Oscars for sure. It's a very, very intense trailer. I really just love the cinematography and the scope of this whale, man. And the little minute little boat, and then you just could fucking flick it, and then just the boat would fly off. It looks cool. It looks like it could be this really cool epic disaster movie about this whale and these sailors and stuff. So yeah, man. Or not sailors, fishermen, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it looks so good. I actually can't wait to see Into the Heart of the Sea. So yeah, bring it on. The next one is the Point Break trailer 2. I hated it. I still am not interested at all. The one thing I'll say from the movie, like I said from the first trailer, is that the action scenes look really cool and the cinematography looks really crisp and like really gritty and stuff. So that's all a plus, but my word, like the first trailer was awful. The acting is atrocious. The line delivery is awful, but this one just doesn't even get me excited. It's like, okay, thanks, Warner Brothers, for throwing another trailer at us. Like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck, Warner Brothers. I don't. So Point Break trailer 2 came out. The next one is Steve Jobs, and this is the second trailer for the Danny Boyle directed, Aaron Sorkin written, Michael Fassbender starring film based on Steve Jobs. And it's going to be told in 3 separate stories from what we could tell in the trailer. We'll have like long-haired Steve Jobs, short-haired Steve Jobs, and gray-haired Steve Jobs. So, I mean, this trailer is amazing. It looks so good, and I cannot wait for this fucking movie to come out. Oh, my dear Lord. I hope that Seth Rogen gets a supporting actor nom. That way people can just shut up about him and just accept the fact that he's a damn good businessman. He's a damn good filmmaker at what he does, and he's a damn good actor. So, I mean, I'm actually really more curious to see him and Fassbender on screen for the very first time, just interacting. Because it's like, this is an Academy Award level actor in Michael Fassbender. And Seth Rogen is primarily known for his R-rated raunchy comedies. And he's done a couple of dramatics here and there, but like, it's more known for his comedies. So it's going to be really cool to see these two different titans on screen interacting. And I'm curious to see their chemistry. So, yeah, Steve Jobs, the second trailer looks awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. Like, oh, man. It comes out in October and just, oh, so good. So good. This thing is going to sweep at Oscars because I'm hearing from Tiff that this is everything that everyone's been hoping it would be. So, Steve Jobs, man. And the last trailer is The Jungle Book. This thing dropped on, I think, Monday or Tuesday, and it's directed by Jon Favreau, who did the first 2 Iron Mans. He's also done Swingers. He did Chef from 2 years ago. What was it last year? I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it was last year. So anyways, Jon Favreau is directing this, and it's from Disney. It's going to be a live-action retelling of the animated classic and stuff. The teaser was fine. Now, since it was a teaser, I want to see a full trailer with the story, with more of the voice acting, because all we heard was Scarlett Johansson as the snake in this one. And yeah, basically I just want to see those two, is more of the story and more of the speaking parts. This was just a demo reel, basically, to show us how impressive visually this movie is going to be. Jon Favreau has said at D23, which is the Disney Expo, when they were introducing this movie to the crowd that day, is that this was all shot in Los Angeles on a sound stage. Like, everything is animated. And the little kid Mowgli, they said that he would have to do his scenes twice, one of which on the sound stage, and then the second one in a mocap suit. So that's just insane, first of all. But when you watch this trailer, it is so visually gorgeous. It kind of just blows your mind on how far technology has come for movies since Avatar. This thing is going to blow. Like, if this movie doesn't give Best Visual Effects to the Oscar, that means James Cameron's Avatar 2 is going to be like the most tits-looking movie next year. So, yeah, it visually looks good. The trailer was fine. But like I said, I just want to see more of the story and more of the voice acting, because we have Idris Elba as Shere Khan. We have Christopher Walken as King fucking Louis. And then we have Bill Murray as Baloo, which I'm still kind of hesitant about, but I kind of want to hear it in action. And then, of course, who plays the Black Panther? Oh, I think it's Ben Kingsley. So, yeah, I want to hear more of them. Scarlett Johansson's fine as the snake, but oh man, those other people, like, when I hear it for the first time, I think I might just like cry tears of joy because it's gonna be so perfect. So yeah, the Jungle Book trailer looks awesome. I cannot wait for that. I think it comes out in April of next year. So that will do it for the trailers this week, guys. If you have a favorite trailer that dropped this week and you want to talk about it, please comment in place, roll up on my face, and let me know. All right. So We're 35 minutes in. You guys are waiting for it. You guys are clamoring for my Black Mass review and just what I think of Johnny Depp overall. We'll start with Johnny Depp. The first movie I ever saw with Johnny Depp, knowing it was Johnny Depp, was Edward Scissorhands. The first movie I saw with him where I didn't know who he was, and it was the definite first one I saw of his, was Nightmare on Elm Street. And so I've always been a huge fan of Johnny Depp. This is the type of guy that where he's versatile and he can literally do anything. Edward Scissorhands, he plays a really mute loner corpse bride. He provides very good voiceover work. Rango, he also provides very good voiceover work for a really cool looking chameleon. You have Gilbert Grape, where he's more reserved and more humble and a family man. You have Sweeney Todd, where he fucking murders people and eats them. Like, he's basically the musical version of Hannibal. And then you have stuff like, regardless of you think of like the Lone Ranger and stuff, he played an Indian, which bullshit, by the way. And then Pirates of the Caribbean, he played a pirate. So this is the type of guy who can literally do anything. And then when he hits his dramatic stuff, like I've always categorized Johnny Depp in 3 different categories. You're either going to get like a really amazing performance from him, an okay performance in an okay movie, or just a shitty movie with a shitty character and you just don't really care about it. So some of the ones I like from him, I really adore Sweeney Todd. I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I really liked what he brought to that one, just with the creepy Tim Burton vibe and just the way he handled that character. It was delicious. It was like deliciously awful in terms of liking someone that does that. And then I saw Blow for the first time, I think last year. That was a really good Colombian drug overlord movie. Johnny Depp plays George Young, and he basically starts from the bottom, and he gets to the top and rise and fall of a drug lord. So that one was really good. Donnie Brasco, I literally just saw 3 weeks ago. That was really good. He plays a FBI informant or not an informant, but he plays an FBI agent, and he goes undercover into this mob that's, charged by Al Pacino, and he tries to get information, but he starts getting too into it and stuff, which is kind of like what Black Mass is, except the roles are reversed now. So Donnie Brasco is a very good one. Like I said, I love Gilbert Grape a lot, but that's more of Leonardo DiCaprio's movie, even though Johnny Depp plays a really good family man, and him and Leo have excellent chemistry in that movie. And then he does bad stuff. I didn't see The Lone Ranger, so I can't comment on it, but I heard bad things. I hated Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I hated Dark Shadows. I didn't mind Alice in Wonderland, but it was more of a disappointment than anything. I've never seen Ed Wood, so I can't comment on that. I've never seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which I need to because it's on my Netflix queue. So like I said, he's the type of actor to where he does a little bit of everything. Hell, he was in the movie fucking Tusk, the one with Justin Long where he turns into the goddamn walrus. It's amazing. So, yeah, he does stuff like that. He does a little bit of everything. But I've always classified Johnny Depp as a fantastic actor. Not a great actor, not just a pretty good actor. This guy is A material. A fucking class. Yo, A fucking class. I'm going to try to do my Boston as much as possible for since we're talking about Black Mass, even though it's terrible. I'm sorry, I won't do that. Yeah, Johnny Depp is just one of these actors to where he is one of the most he's a world-class actor. And people forget that because he does movies like fucking Makeup Palooza or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, wait, his past 5. But then people forget about Donnie Brasco, and they forget about Blow, and they forget about Gilbert Grape, and, movies like Cry Baby and all these smaller films they did. So I have always been a huge fan of this guy. So when I heard he was playing Whitey Bulger in this movie called Black Mass, I was super ecstatic. Because the photos look creepy. He has his hair slicked back just like Whitey did in his photos. He's got those dead baby blue eyes to where when you look into those eyes, there is no fucking soul in there. He is a dead human being. So I remember when the first photo came out, and I was super pumped. And then the first trailer came out, and it was the dinner scene where I'm going to try to do my best impersonation where he's like, what the fuck did you marinate this steak in? It's just out of this world. And then the guy's like, just grounded up garlic and a pinch of soy sauce. And then Whitey's like, I thought you said it was a family secret. And then the guy at the table is like, but no. He's like, no. You just told me a family secret, just like that. What makes me think that you're not going to spill something about me tomorrow? Like, it's such a great scene to open up with your marketing, because it really just shows the creepiness and the disgusting nature of this character. But then at the end of the scene, he laughs, and it's like, oh, this is the type of guy to where you don't know whether he's going to fucking castrate you in your sleep or take you out to the bar and buy you a shot. He's just that type of guy. So after that trailer, I started seeing more and more trailers, so I was getting super pumped for it. And I've been hearing that this is Johnny Depp's right to form, because I don't really count this as a comeback. He's been a good actor. He's been choosing shitty makeup roles, even though he's in makeup in this one. So kind of just, I was a hypocrite there. But this is a better makeup performance. So I've been hearing this as a comeback. I don't consider it a comeback. I just consider it, hey Johnny, thanks for getting back to the party. So I've been hearing about his performance, Joel Edgerton's performance. I've been hearing that this is a really just good mobster movie. So I just got done seeing it. What do I think about it? Okay. I'm going to say I really liked this movie, but I'm not going to say I loved it. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with saying that. So let me break this down. Let's start with the directing and the writing. This is actually my first Scott Cooper directed movie. This is the guy that directed Jeff Bridges to his Oscar win in Crazy Heart. And he also did the movie Out of the Furnace, which I've heard some people really like and some people don't really care for it. But this was my first one. I didn't see the other two, so this is my first Scott Cooper directed movie. I think he does a pretty good job at directing in terms of like nailing this tone, this disgusting, hollow tone throughout the entire film, which is kind of an issue for me, which I'll get to in just a second. But he creates this like really disgustingly disturbing mobster world, and we just get sucked into this thing because every time when Depp is on screen, he grabs your attention and he does not let go. It's the type of directing to where like it's a slow ass burn, because these trailers make it seem like it's going to be just a really fast paced like Goodfellas type movie. No, this is a very slow burn. And I think what Scott Cooper was trying to do was, as an audience member, make you feel hollow and disgusting, just like Whitey Bulger. And making it that slow burn increases the intensity on the violence, because it feels more hyper-realistic than, say, like a really fastly edited scene or whatever. The violence might lose you a little bit, and it might just feel, pure fantasy, like what a movie should do. But in terms of movies like this, where it is a very slow burn and it takes its time with its story and its characters and stuff, to where when the violence happens, it is super fucking brutal and you can feel it on screen. So in terms of the directing, I thought he nailed the tone. The characters are there, and he does get very good performances out of his actors. There's a lot of good stuff going on. But here's where the bad news is, folks, is the writing and the story. Now, I don't think the dialogue is bad. I really don't. I think it's well done, and it serves as a nice fuel to this mobster movie. Like, it's dialogue I would expect to hear from a mobster movie. There's a couple of lines that were said, and I was like, hey, that's pretty good. But the main problem with this entire movie, And this is one of my only issues with the movie, but it's a huge one. It's its story. Even though the directing is really good, and the tones there and the scenes that are constructed are filled with suspense, disgust, and just pure insanity in some parts, the story is messy. Now, first of all, what bugged the hell out of me was this movie time jumped like a motherfucker. And at some points, I couldn't even tell if a week had passed by or a couple of years or whatever. So there were some glaring issues with the time in this movie. The other thing is I didn't feel any connection to these characters. Most of these characters in this movie are fucking evil. And then some of them are bad. So I didn't feel, first of all, I didn't feel any connection to actually latch myself onto as an audience member, like a protagonist and someone that's going to fucking take these guys down and really serve justice. There was none of that. And like I said, this movie is hollow. It is emotionless because when something would happen, like in a major event, if someone died or someone got pissed off at someone, they started spouting off stuff of like, you know, when we were kids, like you didn't fucking do this. Like, that's nice, but we don't really know much about your childhood. And every time when someone would die or something really emotional would happen, I didn't feel any connection because there was not enough time that was lent to that situation or those two characters to where it made me want to feel something, you know? You get what I'm saying? So at the same time, the hollowness and the emotionless vessel that was this movie was non-existent. Now, Joel Edgerton plays John Connolly, and then Johnny Depp plays Whitey Bulger, and then Benedict Cumberbatch plays Whitey Bulger's brother. And so they've mentioned numerous times throughout this movie that they were childhood friends, they had each other's back and stuff. But every time when they would bring that up and they would use it in an emotional, intense scene, I didn't really care because I don't know much about their childhood except for like the basic surface level stuff. I would have liked to have seen a 10 to 15 minute bumper in front of this movie of their childhood. I would have loved to have seen that and just see them interact and stuff and have Johnny Depp as a kid or Whitey Bulger as a kid and his mom. His mom was another thing where it's like, you know, something happens in the movie. I'm not going to say what, but it's like, oh, I don't really feel anything because it's like, I didn't really, we had like a couple scenes with them. So I would have liked to see young Whitey Bulger interact with his mom. I would have liked to see this childhood where he had an absent father figure. So if they would have added 10 to 15 minutes of, you know, childhood scenes, I would have been totally okay with that. I liked this movie and I liked the pace of it for the most part. So I was already invested in this whole 2-hour journey. Give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more backstory for these characters. And then, so that's the one thing you could fix. And the second thing, like I said, well, never mind. I guess that kind of fixes it. Well, some of it is if you have some of the childhood scenes, we would feel more emotionally attached to some of these characters and stuff. And then some of the relationships in this movie were just kind of touched on here and there, and then they were gone. Like, for instance, Whitey Bulger's wife, played by Dakota Johnson. She was in the movie maybe for a few scenes, and then she was gone. Never mentioned or heard of again. And that's why I was so angry about the time jumps, because I was like, what happened to her? Did she run away? Did she die? What'd she do? I don't know. But she's barely even in there, and when she's gone, she's gone. She's never even spoken of again. So that kind of irritated me. So that's kind of my generalization of the story and what I think about it. It's just so messy and choppy for the most part in terms of going from scene to scene and not having that emotional connection between each one of them. And when something major would happen, I didn't feel as an audience member. So the story and just the way it was constructed was my main criticism of this entire thing. Let's get, excuse me, guys. Let's get into the acting. The acting is superb. This is one of those instances where the movie itself, like the story, is not really all there, but the acting is like on a whole nother level. So, hold on. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Yeah, the acting is just all. I don't need to harp on the acting because everyone else has already said it. Johnny Depp, holy shit. This might be my favorite mobster performance he's done. Donnie Brasco is my favorite. Shit, man, this might take the cake. Just the way that Johnny Depp looked and just the way he would speak his lines and speak his mind and just interact with some of the people. There was one scene where it had to involve John Connolly's wife. It was so disgusting and gross, not like in a violent way. It was just disgusting as like a human being would act towards another human being. It was just gross, man. And that scene alone will just make you want to go take a shower. So he brings the disgusting, disturbing side to Whitey Bulger and how sick and twisted the son of a bitch actually was. But then we get a few scenes where he's interacting with his mom and his brother and, his wife and his son. And that's fine and dandy, but we didn't get enough of that to where we could actually sympathize with him. We as an audience, we saw those scenes and we felt a little bit of sympathy towards him. But for the most part, he's a bad motherfucker throughout this thing. And, I couldn't really empathize any of that with him. It's just like he's a gross human being who has dead eyes. He didn't have enough scenes to where I felt like he could be sympathized with. So other than that, that character is hardcore and disgusting. Joel Edgerton's really good. I really liked his role. He brings a really good gravitas to this movie. And he will probably be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Johnny Depp will definitely be nominated for Best Actor. Everyone else does fine, except for one. Eggs Benedict Cucumber. Like, I try to come up with a clever one. Jackson Trout, one of my friends, we talk about movies and shit, and he's been on this podcast before. He's got some really good, like, Benedict Cumberbatch, like, flipping it on and making it like a food thing. So, anyway, I totally fucked that up. Anyways, Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh, woof. I really like the guy. I love me some Benedict Cumberland, but his accent in this movie, his Boston accent, is so laughably bad. It is so bad. I understand you get Benedict Cumberbatch for your movie. It's like an ace in the hole because he's a really talented actor. But his accent was terrible. I don't know what you can hear the English accent poking through that thing, and it was like, let me out, because he was trying to do his Boston accent. It was just sounded weird. It almost sounded like a lisp. It sounded like Samuel L. Jackson's character in Kingsman, Secret Service. It just sounded awful. So, yeah, everyone else does awesome. And I would say another standout is Jesse Plemons, who actually starts the movie with his little interrogation scene. But Benedict Cumberbatch, buddy, I love you, but that accent was so atrocious, man. Yikes, work on your Boston. But everyone else's accent's good. Cinematography is actually really good. Like I said, I've never seen a Scott Cooper movie, but from the trailers and from what everyone's told me of, the previous two movies, I have seen the trailers, and I can definitively tell you those trailers are shot beautifully. They're gorgeous. Scott Cooper really knows how to utilize really great dolly shots going from side to side, and really good just like push-in shots where we're sitting on a couple of characters and we just slowly push in on these two characters, just really adding some really good movement to the scene. So it's a really well-shot movie. I can see that he was trying to get some Scorsese in there with those dolly shots side to side. So not quite there, Scott Cooper, but I do commend you. It's a very well-shot looking movie. And Mobster movies are always well shot for the most part. Editing, like I said, this is a 2-hour-long movie, and it moves at a snail's pace, folks. Not as bad as Foxcatcher. Dear God, I like Foxcatcher, but I can tell you right now that that movie is like, you better drink a fucking Red Bull because you might fall asleep. This one is not near as bad, but it is a slow burn. And like I said, maybe that's what Scott Cooper wanted to do, was to really create this slow burn, disgusting, like it seeps under your skin environment to where it really just disgusts you as you watch this. So in that regards, well done. But in the same time, since the story was kind of messy and I didn't feel that connection in some scenes, it does feel a lot longer than 2 hours. But for me personally, I was engaged throughout the entire thing. I loved every time when Depp was on screen, that guy grabs your attention. And he just makes it go by so much faster. Now, all the scenes not with him in it, they're fine. They move along the story, but like Depp is really the one that propels the movie with each scene that he's in. So that's how I would kind of rate the pace and the rhythm of this movie. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say. So overall, guys, I think this is a really good mobster movie. It's not, the best thing I've ever seen. I think it's a really good mobster movie that has some really big problems with the story in terms of the emotional connection we need for these characters and just more childhood backstory. I would love to see that with Whitey and his mom and Whitey and his brother and his friend and stuff. The cinematography is really good. The acting is superb. That's what you go see this movie for. And, for me personally, it does rock a pretty good rhythm, even though it's at a fucking snail's pace. So overall, guys, I think I'm going to give this movie, Black Mass, a solid B. So that is my review of Black Mass. Please tell me what you thought of Black Mass in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you thought about this movie and what you think about Johnny Depp's performance and stuff, because when the movie was over, you feel so disgusted, and you have to go take a shower after this. I'll take one later. But you just feel so disgusted. And quite frankly, when the movie is over with, you don't really remember that much. Like, you remember a few scenes, especially with Johnny and stuff, but overall, you don't really remember too much. It's just kind of like one of those experiences where it just gets under your skin, just makes you feel disgusting as a human being. So I guess if that was Scott Cooper was going for, good job, man. So I give Black Mass a B. It's definitely worth your time if you like mob movies, but just know that don't expect too much because you'll be a little disappointed in the story aspect. But Johnny Depp's performance is ace. It's ace in the hole. So that is my review of Black Mass, guys. So let's get into the box office results for the weekend and wrap this up, because you guys are probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Let's fucking wrap this up, man. I don't know what accent that was. All right, so here are the box office results for the weekend. First of all, Captive came out this week in limited release, and it came in at number 10. That's the David Oyelowo, Kate Mara movie where he breaks into her home and she, teaches him about God and stuff. That one made $1.4 million. So cool, I guess. All right, so here is the top 5 for the weekend. Number 5 is Everest, which I saw, by the way, and I gave that one a solid B+. So there's my score for Everest. If you want to listen to it more in depth, it's on my YouTube page. That made $7.5 million on a theater count of 545 theaters. That's not bad. That's pretty good. And its budget, it says here, is 55. So it needs about 110 to break even. Got a long way to go. But it opens wide next week. It only opened on IMAX screens this week, so it might do a lot better next week. Number 4 is The Perfect Guy with $9.6 million, bringing its domestic total to 41 on a budget of 12. It already made its money back last weekend, so it's just basically tacking on more profit. So good job. I didn't see it, so I can't really comment. Number 3 is The Visit with $11.3 million, Right now, domestically, which is U.S. and Canada, it's got $42 million. Worldwide, it's got $46 on a $5 million budget. M. Night put his own money into this movie, and it totally paid off. Because now more than 8 times its money back, so it's crazy. So good job to visit. I really enjoyed it. A very weird, kooky movie. Here it is, top 2. Number 2 is Black Mass with $23.3 million. Not bad, for especially because Johnny Depp's previous movies like Mordecai that came out this year. Oh dear Lord, I think that opened up to like 1.8 million, or I think it was like 2 or 3, but still, it was pretty fucking low. Its budget's $53 million, so it needs to make about 106, 110 to break even. So with the word of mouth and all the Oscar buzz surrounding this movie, it'll probably reach its goal, especially when it gets to Oscar season. I'll guarantee many theaters will re-release this movie for Oscar consideration, so you can see it for yourself. So domestically, it's got $23 million. Not bad, especially since Johnny's had some duds in a row. So that's good. Number 1 is Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials. I did not see this, nor do I care to see it. I didn't see the first one. Made $30 million for its opening weekend. Damn. Worldwide, it's got 108. Its budget's 61. It needs to make about 122, 125 to break even. Holy shit, it's definitely going to do that. Worldwide, it's got 108, like I said, but on foreign territories, it's got 78 million, so it's doing really well overseas. So, yeah, that's it. So that will do it, guys, for this week's episode of Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you guys listening every single week. You guys mean the world to me. I love you all. I'm going to reach the episode 100. I got something really cool planned for it for you guys. So, yeah, just keep it fucking classy. I love you guys. You guys are the best fans. So anyways, on all the news stories, the trailers, and Black Mass and Johnny Depp, all that stuff, if you want to comment that place to open my voice, please let me know what you thought of today's episode. With that being said, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseLee. And all my links in the description will be below in the description box. And once again, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of this podcast, link will be in the description below. If you are listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, or SoundCloud, and you want a video version of, hi, Kermit the Frog here, and you just want to see me wail my arms around, then that will be in the link in the description below. The beginning and outro music is done by my friend's band, Fervent Roze. If you want to check more out of their songs and stuff, link in the description will be below as well. So that will do it this week for another episode of Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. That was episode 96. Next week is going to be interesting because I am scheduled to have Nick Yakubuchi from We Live Film to go over everything he saw at TIFF. I'm going to interview him and just pick his brain and see what he liked and what he disliked, and like what I'm going to be looking forward to and whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that or if I'm going to be covering Fantastic Fest, because I am in talks to be sent down there for a few days. So I might do it over Fantastic Fest or I might do it over TIFF. I don't know yet. It's most likely going to be TIFF. And it may not be Sunday night. It's probably going to be Monday because I'm going to get back from Fantastic Fest on Sunday if I even go. If I don't go, it'll be normally on Sunday. But if I do go, it will be on Monday. So just keep a lookout, guys. You guys know the drill. I will have an episode on Sunday or Monday, so just keep a lookout. It's either going to be over the TIFF, and if that doesn't work out with Nick, then it'll be over Fantastic Fest. So yeah, that will do it, guys. So I'm Chase Lee, and listen, if you were not a movie fan when you came across this podcast and you listened to this whole entire thing, well, maybe I convinced you to be one. So you guys keep it awesome, keep it classy. You guys are all badass. I'm going to go ahead and play the outro music. Have a good weekend, guys. Go see some movies. Have a good day, good night, or whenever the hell you're listening to this. Go see Black Mass. It's totally worth it. Let's play the outro music. See you guys next week.